Morning, guys. Me again. I always do my videos on a Friday, so you will see me in the same outfit in all the lessons. So, welcome at our comprehension lesson. Today's one we picked specifically because we're busy in science with planets and the solar system. So we thought to swap them a little bit around so that this one fits and you will hear the reason why I'm doing this. So I hope when you guys are listening to the reading of the comprehensions that you actually sit with your paper and you follow on the paper because I think that is super important. So you listen while I'm reading and then follow with your eyes. And when I stop, I will explain certain words. And when I'm done with the reading, I will go through the questions as well. And what you have to do then is go and sit at your table, desk, wherever you do your work. Read through it again, make sure you understand the whole story, and read the questions. And by then, you will more or less know where the answers are. Can I just mention one thing quickly? You know that we start with the date and the heading as always. That you guys are doing great. Um, just remember answering full sentences. Some of you guys are referring back to small answers. Start with capital letters, number your sentences, and every one of the questions you start next to the pink margin with a number. It's all separate answers. And then something that I pick up now from the polar bear one is that you guys, if you have to answer the question, you find the answer in your piece and then you copy that word for word. Guys, that's plagiarism. That's what they call it. It means the person who wrote the story, you're stealing their sentences. So that is actually not allowed. So you have to use your own words to answer. Now I know sometimes you will see in this one in particular, you cannot um, skip copying certain parts. In this case, it will have to happen. But some of you use the direct sentence to answer, and you could have done it in your own words. So really try and practice on that, guys, because as you grow older, it's getting more important, and you can actually get into trouble when you use other people's words. Okay. So let's go. Planet problems. I'm on this page. Okay. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Oh, it's futile. Futile means it's a waste of time. I don't get it. I'll never be able to remember all nine. I quickly need to interrupt here. When this story was written, they had Pluto there as one of the planets. Now, if you guys really concentrated in your solar system piece in science, you would know that we didn't add planet and we spoke about 8 planets. Pluto as a planet, we spoke about 8 planets because in the meantime, since the time that they wrote this story till now, they decided that Pluto is now a dwarf planet. Due to its size, it's much smaller than all the other planets, so they decided to take it out of the line of planets. It doesn't mean Pluto is now gone, Pluto is still there, but we just don't call it a planet anymore. But in this case, we're going to keep it there. Sighed Alice. Sighed means, okay. Alice, as she flopped her head down into her hands, is like, oh no, I don't get it. Alice has spent all afternoon learning about the galaxy. Galaxy means all the different solar systems and uh, uh, um, moons and stars and planets and things going on. Okay. The Milky Way, that is our solar system. Okay. And that means it's our sun and all our planets that's orbiting. This is our solar system that we know that we investigate and the scientists investigate, and it's called the Milky Way. The reason why they call it the Milky Way is if you go into the desert where there's no lights and you look up in the sky, it's like it's making this white line, um, and that's why they call it the Milky Way. and Marsh. She had also spent all afternoon thinking about chocolate, which didn't help. Now you would think, now, why did she think about chocolate? She's supposed to think about planets. And what made her think about planets when chocolates, when she's talking about Milky Way and Mars? But we get a chocolate, and I was looking for it and I couldn't find any. We get a chocolate with the name Milky Way. It's a blue wrapper, and we get a chocolate. It's almost looks like a bar one chocolate, black wrapping with the red words. That's a Mars bar. Now, when she read Milky Way, she thought, oh, the chocolate, and Mars, she thought of chocolates. Okay, so that's why mine just went a different direction. The doorbell rang and Alice got up to answer it. It was Cian from next door. Now, it's not Kane because it's I-A. Kane you spell A-I. I don't know if you pronounce it Kian or Cian. So for our sake, let's say Kian, okay? It doesn't matter actually how you pronounce that boy's name. Great, thought Alice as she opened the door. Kian can help me learn the planets. Kian sat at the big table in the kitchen, which was draped with Alice's school books. Now, drape is when I take a tablecloth and I put it over a table. Sometimes it's a long tablecloth that you pull up in ends with bows and you make it fancy. If I lay out a whole lot of food and things to make it look nice for people to eat, I drape the table. It means a whole table was filled up with all the books, so it was draped with books. That's what it means. I'm trying really hard to learn the planets for my science test tomorrow, Alice complained, but sometimes I find it difficult to remember things. What you need is mnemonics, said Kian helpfully. Now, mnemonics, now look at that word. Can you hear when I say mnemonics? I don't say mnemonics. I leave out the M totally. It's a silent sound. Mnemonics. He said helpfully. Can you see helpfully? Ends with ly, so it's an adverb. What? Asked Alice. Mnemonics, repeated Kian. It is a way of helping you remember something. It is also the only word in the English language that begins with the letters MN, the M being silent. See, I just told you so. Oh, Mr. Know-it-all, laughed Alice. Tell me how it works. And you see, she's now getting excited. Kian explained how using rhymes and songs or making words from other words or sentences can help you remember. Can I quickly interrupt here? When we do adding and subtracting, I always say big one on the floor, go next door. Big one on the top, don't stop. Okay, can you remember that? Now that is a mnemonic. It's something to help you remember. When we did this capital letters, we used the caps for capital letters, and it's I, countries and continents, people's names, books and titles, titles of peoples like Sir. All right, can you remember? Now those hand actions are also mnemonics. There's all kinds of ways that can help us to remember things. Alice was still confused, so Kian gave us some examples. He explained how singing the alphabet to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star made it easier for children to learn the alphabet. You guys know it, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, when we did alphabetical order, you guys immediately jumped into that song. That was a mnemonic that the teachers taught you way back so that you can remember that. He also told her how the sentence, now look at that sentence. Richard of York gave battle in vain. made it easier to learn the order of the colors of the rainbow. I want you quickly to go back to that sentence. The R of Richard is red. Of York, the Y is yellow. The G in gave is green. The B in battle is blue. In the I in, oh no, let me go back, sorry. The R in Richard is red. The O of off is orange. The Y of York is yellow. The G in gave is green. The B of battle is blue. The I in is indigo. It's a mixture of blue and purple. And the V in vain is violet, which is a color of purple. So if you know that sentence, Richard of York gave battle in vain, then I ask you, name me the colors of the rainbow, and you start with red, and you will know them. Okay? So Richard of York gave battle in vain. It's got nothing to do with the rainbow, but it's a sentence to help you to remember the order of the colors of the rainbow, and that's a mnemonic. That's great, said Alice. But how can I remember the planets? I mean, he spent now time on talking about the colors of the rainbow, about songs and rhymes, about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. What does that have to do with planets? He said, my very easy method just sums up 9 planets, smiled Kian. That's great, Kian. She got frustrated. Said Alice, getting frustrated. But what is it? He said, that's it. My, Mercury, very, Venus, easy, Earth, method, Mars, just, Jupiter, sums, Saturn, up, Uranus, 9, Neptune, planets, Pluto. Is that you guys had my very excited mother just served um, just served up us just served us nachos, or you can say noodles. All right, so that sentence that I gave you in that little booklet was a mnemonic, exactly what Alice was doing. That's brilliant, shouted Alice. I'll never forget my planets again. Okay, so what is the name of the story? Easy peasy, you know where to find it. Number 2, what had Alice been trying to learn all afternoon? Stuff that you've been doing all week in science. What else had Alice been thinking about and why? If you get stuck with that question, the last picture on that page will give you a hint. It's also something that I love. Number 4, who was at the door? Oh, that's rhyming. Number 4, who was at the door? Number 5, according to Kian, what did Alice need? She needed something to help her. That mna. Number 6, name one example of the mnemonics. Now he gave her a few things and 2 examples. You only write down one of them. Number 7, what is the sentence Kian uses to remember the planets? That you can use yours, but unfortunately they ask you the one that he was using because they still used Pluto as a planet, so you have to have P in your sentence. And number 8, name 3 other things people do to remember. Now they give you some examples there in the story. If you can think of anything else that make you help to remember things, you can also name that. So I think that is quite easy, and I hope you enjoyed the story. And if you discover a mnemonic that you use to help you to remember, you can always share it with us. Have a nice day, guys.